All right.
There we go. I will move
Oh,
I will move away from the syndromes. Is Tina autistic? Bob's Burgers? I don't
I
know.
I thought that was supposed to be a thing with her.
Yeah, it seemed like she was. Good show though. Yeah, Tina not very you got to feel sorry for Tina. Got to feel sorry for almost all of them except for that boy because he's too oblivious.
See, this is a thing with the show is kind of sometimes the way they act. It's kind of like each one is kind of on the spectrum. But then it's just like also the fact that the dad is kind of weird to begin with. It might be genetics, or it could just be one of those things where it's just raised in such a way that the kids can't socially function the way they should.
Well, I that's kind of the point I think of a what's it called? It's a
School.
a school to teach everyone how to socialize, which really doesn't happen. You just sort of have interactions. It's like a prison. Uh, but yeah,
Well, yeah.
for the characters in Bob's Burgers and a lot of other shows, they're supposed to be maladaptive to keep it interesting. So if everyone in a show functioned well and was an actual example of healthy human behavior, then it just wouldn't be interesting.
Oh, it's like Shameless. Like half the
Yeah.
family is really with it, but because of the dad and like a couple of the other ones, like the way they are makes it just, the situations they get into are the reasons why the show works.
Yeah.
This,
So there's the mom,
yeah,
and she's the one who has anxiety because the others don't have anxiety.
yeah. Well, who needs anxiety when you have one person taking the whole burden?
Exactly. So she has to
Stop cornering the
um
market on it.
well, that's the thing is if she doesn't keep everything afloat, then it all falls apart. And she's too afraid to let it all fall apart when that is really what would be best for her as an individual. Um,
See, that just rang really true with me because my cousin is a huge fuck up. Like, I know he has mental problems, he on the spectrum, but like very like he didn't even register like early in life that he might be just on the tip of the spectrum for Asperger's. Yeah,
okay.
because that's the lighter one. So they're just like, well, he seemed fine, just a little slow, and the fact that he was a preemie baby, they just kind of chalked it up to some of that kind of stuff. And then it's just like, well, look, he's got to be on medication, otherwise, he's not quite with up to speed. But then he goes ahead and he smokes a bunch of weed, which counteracts all of his medication, which makes him like extra fucked up then because it's like sitting there with a light switch like off and on all the time. Like that's just gonna make it worse. And he's been told that by doctors,
Hmm.
but it's like he gets arrested.
Oh
You
wow.
know, drunk driving or for him it's mainly drug possession. Kind of a deal or getting into a fight. And then it's just like, okay, so you went to jail. Well, you're in jail because they caught you with drugs. You're told that they're going to throw you in jail if you're caught with drugs again. So then it's just like, or if you're fighting, then that's assault. So you get thrown in jail. So it's like, well, what the fuck, you know? So then my uncle turns around. He's like, well, he calls me up and he tells me he's crying and stuff. And it's like, well, you don't have the money to bail him out. Well, no, not really. Like, I mean, if I do this job, I'll have like the down payment and I could do it then and get him out. And it's just like he's fucking older than I am. He's 30. Oh, well, 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, 4 years older than I am. He's seriously 38. Holy shit, he's 38. And he can't figure out that mom and dad aren't going to be there his whole life. His sister isn't going to fucking bail him out. I sure as hell am not, and my dad's not. Like, I don't have money. I don't want to deal with that shit. Kind of a deal. Like, not to mention, I am 244 miles away. I'm not going to drive that amount to go pick his ass up out of jail and bail him out. And he sure as hell isn't going to live with me because I'm not going to deal with that shit either. So it's like, no chance with me, no chance with my dad. So once my uncle passes, and maybe my aunt will try it, but I doubt it too. Like, she doesn't have a whole lot of money. So yeah,
Oh.
when my uncle goes, my cousin's fucked. Because I mean, as much as I would like to say, like, oh, we're a family, da da da. No, that shit gets old extremely fast. And a few of us are already sick of that shit and hearing about it. Mainly my dad. My dad complains the most. Tell him to do this, and he literally will walk over in that direction, walks out the fucking back door, and you don't see him for 2 days. And it's like, what the fuck? Whatever.
So he had to go help family for 2 days, or
No, 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 no. He just disappears. He goes, smokes weed with his buddies or whatever in town, and then he's out of money because, well, he barely works,
oh, okay.
or decides like, oh, I want to go home and have a free meal, or I don't know. He's either tired of his friends or they're tired of him. I mean,
Hmm.
either or, you know. Jesus,
Oh man.
I loathe. I really, really do not look forward to the day that my uncle dies because that's exactly. I know he's gonna fucking call me up the first time he gets in trouble. I just know it. I feel it in my bones.
Hmm. Any specific bones?
Kind of that, the cranial one. I think it's called the
Oh,
skull. Like, it just
okay.
slowly a bad headache.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
that right side specifically.
yeah, like, the right side. The heart attack side.
Yeah, yeah, where it's pulsating just a little bit and your vision's starting to go.
Yeah. And just before I passed out, it just dawns on me: if it wasn't for my horse, I would have never spent that year in college.
College?
Lewis Black.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God,
It
that's
took
one of my favorite ones.
It's been a while. I need to catch up on some of his newer specials.
Oh, I haven't seen any of his newer stuff. I just remember one of his really old ones where he's like, when you overhear somebody having a conversation, he's like, I heard a doozy. I heard a girl say to her friend, if it wasn't for my horse, I wouldn't have spent a year in college.
That's right.
How the fuck do you rationalize that?
Maybe she sold her horse.
Yeah. But then he starts talking about the political debate of they go back and forth, and I just don't know who's more full of shit.
Both
And
of them.
just before I passed out, it dawned on me: if it wasn't for my horse, I would have never gone to college.
For 1 year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Ah.
just, oh my God. I can't remember which one it was now. I got to see if I can find that video.
Was it Back in Black or something like that?
I think it actually was.
Okay.
Do you have that?
Oh, I would have to search it, but we'd probably end up getting a little copyright thingamaburb.
Oh, you don't want to, make money off your content and then, oh yeah, yeah, because it's somebody else's then. It's like when you play music in the background for 30 seconds too long.
Well, that and I feel lazy, so that's a good excuse, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. That and if I share my screen, everyone will see what I've been looking at on YouTube.
You'll probably get horse porn because you typed in if it wasn't for my horse. Why is
Well,
it recommending
there's
horse
Jurassic
porn?
Park, but with a cat.
Oh, that's always a good one.
Oh yeah. But nah, there's always gonna be a whole bunch of videos on my feed that people are gonna judge me for. Take that as you will.
The internet's for porn.
Well, that's one of many purposes. But I wonder what percentage of the internet is porn.
I think you can look that up.
I mean, I'm gonna guess 30.
Ooh, you're gonna guess 30? Am I looking this up or are you looking this up?
I guess we both could.
Ooh, let's see if it gives us different answers. So how are you typing this into Google? I'm typing what percent of internet is porn?
What percentage of the internet is porn? 37.
I got the same. Does it say this? One figure that cropped up again and again is 37% of the internet is made up of pornographic material.
Hmm. Yeah, in 2016 it said 30%. Okay, that's Psychology Today. Interesting.
Huh.
And
So
then Statista
yeah.
says only 4% of websites are estimated to be porn. But I wonder if it's based on data. Oh, I see. Internet downloads are related to porn. So 35% of downloads, 34% of users have experienced unwanted exposure. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different statistics, but we could easily go down that hole. It's not a rabbit hole, but it's a hole.
Yes, a hole nonetheless.
Anyway, should we call it a day on that topic?
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
I think I gotta get working on some dishes